Trouty, hello.
Hello.
Oh
How's
god,
it going?
that was fucking seamless.
Howdy, everyone.
That felt good.
Yeah, looks good.
How you doing, man? Thank you for joining me.
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. This is I'm very nervous, very excited.
Well,
We've recorded these before, but never done it live. So
let's start by talking about that because I was just chatting with Trout before this, and just chatting with you before this, and like we both mentioned the same thing. Like, oh, like, I'm a little bit nervous. Like, what is this? Like, we've done. I think this is content 15, but we've always had the chance to edit this shit. So now it's like, if I say anything fucked, anything dumb, I can't like erase history. But it's exciting.
It's funny because we stream constantly. I'm in front of the camera all the time, but for some reason, I guess maybe it's because I'm a guest here. And so I feel like I have to be on my best behavior, like when you're a kid and your mom takes you to somebody else's house and she's like, "You better behave."
What's my excuse?
That's my internal dialogue right now.
What the fuck's my excuse then? Because this is my shit.
I don't know.
Empathy.
You want to impress me.
Empathy. No. I'm empathetic. I'm feeling your nerves. It's making me nervous. No, dude, thank you for joining me. And, dude, I've got a bunch I want to talk with you about that I haven't been able to talk with you about in real life because I'm saving it for content.
Sure. Well, once again, thank you for having me. And I do want to introduce myself to those who don't know me. My name is Trout. I am a professional golfer, a advocate for medicinal cocaine use, as well as a Twitch streamer. So thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope we cover all those topics tonight.
A Twitch streamer on the side. I would love to talk about your fledgling golf career. That's exciting. That's exciting. Dude, what the fuck? What's been going on, man?
Nothing, man. You know, just working. We've been kind of working on this project that we have on the side, and I'm sure we'll get into that.
We will.
So that's taken a little bit of time. And then streaming when I can. I wish I could stick with it more than just 2 or 3 days a week, but with everything going on, I'm also looking at a career change, not a career change, but a move in terms of my career. So that's stressful.
You've mentioned that actually. You've mentioned, I think it's like a huge pay rise you're looking at, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty decent pay increase, as well as the opportunity to work remotely. So I won't have to have like rush hour traffic all the time or the stress of being in an office around other people who smell bad. Yeah, basically I'll just stop showering. I won't wear clothes ever. So I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds like the fucking dream, man. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I just felt like I just wanted to mention, because I don't know if, obviously we've spoken quite a bit, but I don't know if I've told you your Lord of the Rings streams.
Yeah, I haven't done one in a little while, but sorry, go on, continue.
I think I can imagine some of the challenges of doing it, but I love them. Like, unfortunately, I've never been around for more than like 45 minutes at a time because it's usually on the days that I stream. But like, the voices are on point, the vibe is on point, tempo is on point. The singing, S tier. S tier.
That's the hardest part, honestly. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing them, and I think that basically I just got to a point where I wasn't always wanting to play games on stream, but I still enjoy the stream. But I'm not creative enough or enough of a good talker to just sit and do just chatting for like 4 hours, you know? So I was like, well, what can I do? And I look over, I've got this bookshelf stacked with books, a ridiculous amount of books. And I was like, I'll just read a book on stream. And I wanted to share my love for Tolkien with other people. So yeah, the voices are very difficult because some of the voices destroy my throat. Like when I do Gandalf for a long period of time, it wrecks my throat. So, but it's been fun. It's really cool, and it's something that I don't really see a lot on Twitch. But I kind of wish I did see it more. Just people like reading, you know.
I think it's awesome. You know, we've got audio books. That's like, that took off what, like a decade ago or more. We've got. You can get it on YouTube. Like, I've listened to people reading various short fiction and stuff on YouTube. That's really cool. But yeah, it kind of does feel like a semi-untapped resource on Twitch. And one that, you know, like, that's a rare experience of having someone read you a fucking book. Like, that's pretty intimate too, I gotta say. Like, that's you know, curl up in under the blanket type shit. Like, that's
well, I'm ashamed to say that when I was in school, when I was in like middle school, high school, I was always the kid where the teacher would say, "Does anybody want to read this part out loud?" Hand shot up, because I just loved reading, and I kind of fostered back then a love for reading in front of people. So now I get to do that again, and it's really fun. There's like some people that are regulars for those reading streams, and they seem to enjoy it. And I put the nice the fireplace kind of is going. I've got the little video in the corner of like the logs burning and the crackle and sometimes some rain, ambient noise that just kind of adds to the comfy levels.
It's dope.
Yeah,
it's super comfy.
It's a very comfy stream.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned reading in front of people. When I was doing my lit degree, we had various creative writing workshops. And one of the things that was sort of very daunting for people was that you were expected to read your work in front of this group of, amateur critics, basically, and then they would respectfully tear it to shreds. And so, I remember when I was doing my first workshop sort of course or unit, I was one of the last people to go. And I was like watching some of these people read their stories, and most of them were kind of cringe, and it was like, these sort of cello pieces about deceased pets and whatnot, and I'm going like, I can do this, I got this. And then like the one before me, the week before me, is this fucking like dude who just looks like an archetypal writer who reads this fucking amazing piece that everyone is blown away by. And I'm just like, fuck, I just had like a week of, I don't even know if I regularly experience anxiety, but this crushed me for that week. But the thing is though, when I finally got up and got to read my piece, I realized how, for lack of a better term, empowering it is, and how pleasurable the experience is of just sharing text through voice, and there's something really magical about that.
Yeah, and I can imagine that reading your own work, you get to put the emphasis where you intended it, because sometimes that's lost in translation when someone else is reading your work.
Totally.
And so you get to put the emphasis where you want. But I can also relate to having to go on after someone who just kills. Because I used to do stand-up. I did stand-up several times, not like regularly, but I did back in my early 20s. And the last time I did it was this, I just bombed because this guy came on before me, and he was so funny. I mean, he had really like worked this like 10-15 minute routine, and he was working the crowd, and it was incredible. And I'm just sweating the whole time. And then I went up. I knew before I went up that I was going to bomb, and I bombed, and I just never went back to it. I was like, no, I'll leave it to him. He's got it. I'm good. I'll find something else.
I've always imagined that stand-up comedy would be the hardest art, just personally, to do. Like something about, there's a confidence required to do it, like I feel like with music you can kind of have it, if you're in a band you can kind of have a shitty day and people like, oh, they seem kind of off, but like you still have talent, and there's still a sound that comes through, but the sound of no one laughing.
Yes, when you think you're funny and no one else does. But it's fine because now I do stand up every day at work. I work in this room with 4 other people, and I'm sure they hate me for it, but I'm constantly cracking jokes, and I'm never getting a laugh. So you kind of build an armor to that eventually. You're just kind of like, it's fine. I think I'm funny, and that's good enough for me.
I think not giving a fuck is important, right? Like, I think not giving a fuck is important with so many forms of art. What was it that drew you to, that made you want to do stand-up comedy?
I don't know. I think it's probably the same thing that everybody says. It's like I liked making people laugh, and I wanted to get that high more, because at parties, after 3 or 4 beers, I'm hilarious, to me at least, and to other people too. I think I make people laugh, and I really enjoyed that. And I was like, oh man, there are people that are making money doing this. So I never did. I just did open mics and stuff, but it was a blast.
That's rad. I dated a stand-up comic for a while, and she thankfully didn't want me to see her work, which she wasn't like famous or anything like that. But
Right.
she was working, and I was glad because like just the thought of, I don't know, it could be a relationship destroyer, you know, if you don't think it's any
Dude,
good.
yeah, she probably had material about you.
Yeah.
She was like talking about your wiener or
Yeah.
something.
Talking about my fucking impotence or some shit. He always cries after sex. Like, I don't like, it's not, dude, it's just a bang.
Yeah.
But she would take me to some of her friends' gigs. Oh, and that's where I developed this like thing where like I don't actually like going to stand-up comedy live as an audience member. There's something about it, especially if it's like low tier, not many people in the crowd, people
Right.
starting out. Like I have this sense of like I don't want people to bomb and not be funny. But I also don't want to be like, ha 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 ha. Like I don't want to like pretend to laugh if it's fucking some played out shit that I don't find funny.
Well,
And
yeah, and it's kind of
awkward.
the same thing as on Twitch, where, you know, if I get home from work, first thing I do is I open up Twitch. Well, I've got two friends streaming. One of them has 0 viewers, and the other has 25. I'm gonna hit my dude that has 0 viewers, you know, partially because he's my friend, but also because it's like nobody should have 0 viewers ever, and it's
Yes.
the same sense with like nobody should not get a laugh. But how do you fake that laugh, you know, to make them, because they're not funny.
Well, and also
yeah, I
like,
get you.
does laughing, does that hurt them ultimately? Like, is it? I remember there's I think there's a Louis C.K. an episode of Louis where there's that comic that's just not fucking funny, and like he seeks advice from Louis, and Louis at some point is like, look, dude, you're just not funny. Like you're just
Yeah,
not.
you just
got
gotta
to
find another business.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, I mean, and the pain of bombing, like, and I only bombed once. The first 2 times I went up, I did fantastic. I had the crowd was rolling, everything was good, and I was doing the same material, but for some reason that time, it didn't go over well with the crowd, and
Right.
the pain was so like, it was like my heart shrunk, you know, and I just was like, I can't take bombing ever again, so I'll just never do this again.
It must be a trash feeling. I'm sure the opposite is incredible. When you feel like you really nailed it. But thankfully for me, the only time I really ever try to be a comedian is when I'm in Twitch chat. Like the only people I ever really try and make laugh are like, I don't actually try to be funny when I'm streaming. I try to be funny in other people's streams. Like,
Yes.
and the devastation when Cranberry doesn't laugh at one of my jokes. That's fucking
hurts,
days of my
especially with
life.
Cran.
Yeah, especially with fucking Cran.
Yeah.
Laugh at my jokes, Cranberry. I'm funny. Come on. Dude, I'm gonna pivot. I've been reading Aurelius, thanks to you.
Oh, nice.
The
Yeah.
Meditations.
Meditations is great.
I gotta say, man, it's fucking been incredible. Like, the way I've been reading it is probably just a chapter every couple of days, or a book. I think they're called books in there, every couple of days. And that's like the equivalent of like 10 pages or something like that.
Sure.
And I see why it's called the Meditations now, because there's this repetition of themes, this repetition of almost these mantras that he like sort of words differently from book to book. But it sort of touches on like 6 or 7 different things that just seem really fundamental that he's trying to sort of teach himself. And it feels so authentic because he's not a philosopher philosophizing. He's not saying, this is the nature of existence, people, and here's, now I'm going to refute every other philosopher in existence, and now I'll build the foundations of my own philosophy with my own meta language, etc., etc. It's just him trying to be a better person and trying to remind himself the things that are important and what is true. And it just feels so like pure and just fantastic, dude.
Well, that's why I like the Stoics, and especially like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. I feel like they just lay it out. Now, Epictetus is my favorite because he gets more into like the connection between the transcendent spiritual world and the physical.
Yep.
But Marcus Aurelius and Seneca are both like, hey, this is what life is like. This is what the world is like. There's one quote from Aurelius that's like, every day you're going to run into people that are lazy, selfish, rude, all of these things. And you have to go into the day recognizing that you're going to run into this,
Yep.
and be like prepped and be psychically prepped for these interactions, because otherwise you're going to lose your temper, you're going to become one of those people. So I like those guys especially, and Aurelius is great for just being like, this is the nature of the world we live in, this is the nature of the social interactions that we're going to have. So let's go into it with that understanding and that realistic kind of knowledge and wisdom. And then, you know, carpe diem, I guess, seize the day.
Oh, dude. And another thing as well about him is he had a license. He had a license to be a piece of shit with no consequence. Like, he was in the ultimate position where he could just do what the fuck he wanted. And the mere fact that he felt personally an obligation to be a good person, like on this like fundamental like nature level, it's just it's kind of inspiring in a weird way, you know, like it's reaffirming of humanity.
It makes you wonder, like, what are the areas in my life that I could get away with things? And those are the areas you want to shore up the most, right?
Yeah.
The areas where it's like, well, I can get away with this, so I'll go ahead and do this, you know, and nobody will say anything or nobody will notice. Or like, what am I doing when I'm on my own, when I'm alone and no one's looking? Those are the areas you want to work on the most.
Yeah.
Because when somebody's watching, then you're, you know, on your best behavior, hopefully. But it's it's those moments where you're alone or where you can get away with it and you still do the right thing. What is it? The shopping cart test, you know, it's like there's no one in the parking lot. You can leave your shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot and no one will notice. No one will know it was you. Do you still put the shopping cart back in the cart corral, or, you know, and those are the situations where you really want to like do the right thing, you know?
Yeah. When no one's watching. It's so true. Right. Man, I've really loved reading his stuff, and I pulled up a few quotes that I liked that I'm just gonna read to you that you've already read a million times. But fuck it, my channel, I can do what I want. No one's watching anyway. Hi chat, by the way, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. We love you. All right, check this one out. This one I fucking loved. I read this only a couple nights ago. Penetrate into their directing minds, and you will see what sort of critics you fear and what poor critics they are of themselves.
That's nice. I like that.
I feel like that's like one of those ones that, you know, he's constantly trying to push himself away from fearing the judgment of others and basing his self-worth in like the way he's being spoken about, which I'm sure he was being spoken about a lot in his position. And sort of recognizing that these people that are out to like talk trash on you and talk shit on you, or alternatively to praise you.
And that's worse. That's way worse. That's harder to deal with, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then you can start believing that shit, right? What does it mean for them to feel that way about you? It's nothing, right? Like I really love that sort of humanization of the other in his work. All right, let me hit you up with another couple of ones. This is a recurring theme. And this is probably the most like life-affirming shit for me. Soon you will have forgotten all things. Soon all things will have forgotten you. Positive or negative?
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of both, right? I mean, it's certainly realistic. It's a realistic view of the world, but it's also kind of it's negative in the sense that it's like, oh man, you know, nothing I do is going to last forever. But then also, nothing I do is going to last forever. So all those cringe moments that I have, because I've got some anxiety issues and stuff, I still remember like embarrassing things I did in middle school. And I just it'll pop into my head and I'll be like, oh, why did I say that? But then, yeah, you think if you dwell on those kind of meditations and remind yourself anytime that kind of comes up, you're like, well, 100 years from now, nobody's going to care. And quite honestly, right now, I'm the only one that cares about a lot of those things that I did 10 or 20 years ago. So
no one else remembered them as much. Yeah.
It's positive and negative. It's like, you know, you can build a legacy, but it's still not going to last forever, you know? I mean, I'm sure there were legacies from the Scythian Empire, these people that worked really hard to create something great, and it doesn't matter now, you know? So
yeah, and he repeats stuff like that a lot. Like, not only will you be forgotten, the people who spoke about you will be forgotten. And the people who spoke about them speaking about you will be forgotten. And like us speaking about Aurelius, you know, however many years, like hundreds of years later, will be forgotten, and so on and so forth. I find that shit liberating, actually, because I, like you, have that thing where I remember shit from fucking high school as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to change? Do you want to exchange embarrassing, cringe? Like, I'll tell you something.
You go first. I'll try to remember one.
This is something that I feel really fucking. Actually, maybe we'll bring Chad into this one as well. Okay, so there was this girl who I had sort of been dating a little bit, but like we hadn't seen for a while, and then saw again at a party. I was out of high school. I must have been like 18, 19 at this point. And I was a bit drunk and a bit this and that. And she was like, I don't know, I guess I just wasn't in good form. Maybe I was stoned or something. I wasn't socializing very well this evening. And I guess I was trying to overcompensate for that fact. You know, and she was sort of showing off. She got this tattoo of the Phantom from the comic series The Phantom. She was really into that comic series and whatnot. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And then I still to this day, nearly 20 years later, ask myself, what the fuck? Why did I say, like, I just made up this lie to try and like fit in. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna get a tattoo, and like just so she would like notice that I was in the conversation. And then when she's like, oh, what kind? I'm like, I think I'm gonna get a barcode. I said I'm gonna get a barcode on my fucking neck, and I said this. I actually said this, and everyone just went, and like it was just this moment where like I almost like went out of my body and said this thing that I didn't believe in, just to try and like appeal to it was and I still sometimes think of it today, and I cringe even to this day.
All right, I've got a good one.
All right.
I think I was a freshman or a sophomore in high school, 9th or 10th grade. And I was in the English academic team, because that's where all the cool, popular kids.
Oh yeah.
So that year we were doing like Chaucer and Shakespeare and whatever. And there was this girl. She was a senior, and she was really mean to me for some reason. She kind of bullied me.
Probably liked you.
No, I don't think so, man. I think she just like was able to get away with it, you know. And she was kind of a mean person.
Okay.
And you know, she was a very overweight young lady, and so I'd gotten fed up with her constant, you know, belittling, and I had answered a question, but I think I'd been incorrect, and she was like, "No, you idiot," you know, or something like that. And it didn't matter what she said, but I lost my temper, and I started to say, "You need to shut the, you know, up." And I said, "You fucking," and I was going to say fat ass. I was going to call her a fat ass, but instantly, like, I was like, "No, you can't say that. That's too much." Well, her family comes. The family still lives nearby. They're a farming family, so they're like, they own all this land and they farm. And I said, "You fucking farmer." And I was instantly, my face went red, and like she just started laughing, and everybody started laughing, and then I stormed out of the room.
Oh man!
And then immediately, like as I'm walking away, I'm just thinking like, oh, I should have said it. I should have said it, but you know, I didn't. And I'm kind of glad I didn't at this point, because it's pretty shitty behavior. But
well, it shows that you have a conscience. At the end, you're like, let's soften
at the worst
this a little
times.
Bit. Yeah, I know. Right?
I have a conscience, but only at the worst possible times.
Yeah, I might open this up to chat. Do we have any? I've ignored chat for about 20 minutes now. So, hi chat. Hi guys. Hello. Thanks for hanging out. Hi Melissa Kim. Hey Mystic. What's up? Agus Kun. Does anyone have any similar, like, do we have any cringe moments that we still look back upon 10 years later and just go, what the fuck was I thinking? I think that's probably the one I'm most embarrassed about, just because I felt like a douche. But At the same time, like if I hear yours, I can almost guarantee that you felt worse. You felt more strongly about it than anyone else would have. Like it would have been this like kind of like laugh about it and then move on. Probably the same as mine. Like what an idiot, and then no one remembers it ever again. Like I doubt there's any like random onlookers that are thinking of the fact that I said that 15 years ago at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's a cringe light. Like I have some moments in my past where I was just like I fumbled, you know, socially, and I'm not even willing to share them here because I'll just go through that same cycle of like shame and embarrassment. So.
Have you ever felt that live on Twitch? Because that shit's recorded, baby.
Not immediately, but like I've definitely had some nights where after the stream I'm like, oh, I can't believe I said that, you know, but not any like real high tier cringe shameful moments, just little things where it's like, well, I probably could have handled that better, you know, but nothing too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just check chat, see if I'm missing anything. Hi, Carrion. Hi. Only cringe about the poor life choices I make. Yeah, do I? Kiwi says she only cringes about the poor life choices. I rue. I think I rue life choices, but I only like cringe at like momentary things. Like usually it's something I say, faux pas, things like that. I had a fucking infamous moment. At least in my own mind, it's infamous. Agus-kun knows what I'm talking about. It involves him. It involves Fall Guys. That was fucking really embarrassing. Just a slip of the tongue.
It wasn't a you got tilted and like left or something.
No, I don't mind getting tilted and left. That's part of my character. That's who I am. It was a small mistake, but it's just like, oh, because it's recorded. It's embarrassing.
You immediately go delete the VOD.
Well, the thing is, no, I didn't. And then it came up the other day because I have a when I go into my BRB screen, I've got a thing where it plays old clips of mine now. And when I came back, everyone's like, "Oh, it was the blah, blah, blah moment." I'm like, "Fuck, that's still up there." I immediately deleted it. I cringe at the type of guys I've hooked up with. Huh? Do
Same.
I don't know. I don't know if I do. Look, No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Like, there's definitely people that I wouldn't now. But that's okay. That's okay. Embrace the cringe. Yes. Those cringe moments always come back in the middle of the night when... I know. Why is it when you're trying to sleep? Like, it's like that moment when you're lying down just staring at the roof. You're like, why did I do that?
Get that
17 years ago.
Tight feeling in your chest.
Oh.
Tight feeling in your chest from something that happened like 15 years ago. And you're like, why am I doing this to myself?
Why does it matter?
There's no
right?
control.
Yeah. We hold on to those narratives as sort of like a weird self-flagellation or some shit like that. PSX Boy says, I was talking with the girl once and we had hardly chatted, but I told her good morning sunshine. Through text.
Big mistake.
I love it. I'm into it. Young Kiwi has poor taste. Now she's much pickier. Yeah, my taste... I don't even know what my taste is anymore, to be honest, but it's definitely changed. Porto's only love is bakery waifu. Yes. Shout outs to bakery waifu.
Well, and I do want to mention that, at least for me, the older I get, the fewer cringe moments I have. And it's not because my decision-making skills are better or because I'm more, like, comfortable socially. It's literally just because I care less. You know?
Yes.
Which it may be in part due to reading things like Aurelius, who, you know, remind you that it's like, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, and that's, I think it's important to remember that shit. And another realization as well is when you think about, sometimes when I get a sense of everyone's out to get me paranoia, sometimes induced by smoking a certain herb, when I get those feelings, I have to remind myself, don't be so narcissistic, dude. People aren't thinking about you right now. They're thinking about themselves and they're worried about everyone else feeling shit about them. Like, you know, everyone's so self-obsessed, myself included, that or self-involved rather, that it's kind of comforting to remind yourself of that. Mystic CC says, I once accidentally told a guy I loved him after he broke up with me. Was it accidental or real, CC? Because if it's real, then that's just you sharing your feelings, and I think that's okay.
Or, you know, it's that like attempt to like, you don't want to end the relationship, so you're like attempting to like manipulate them into staying by saying this like heavy thing. And it, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, well, that's kind of yeah, that's super manipulative if that's the case. What Trout said, you diabolical mystic. All right, let me read you another quote from our boy. I like this one. I think this one is important, let's say, in our current climate. If someone can prove me wrong and show my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which has never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self-deception and ignorance.
Yeah.
Do you like? I feel like that's something that a lot of people could do well with today. A little bit of that knowledge.
Yeah. Well, and I think that we're kind of moving towards this like post-truth society or post-truth reality, and we maybe sometimes need to take a step back and like sort of, I don't know. I have this reverence for what I view as like truth, and I don't think that anyone on Earth really has like truth nailed down.
Yeah.
But we're trying to like truth is this line, and you're sort of like you're revolving around it kind of and trying to hit it. But I feel like the more reverence you have for that truth, the more or the closer you could possibly get to it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think as well, there's, you know, it feels, sometimes there's this feeling of being wrong or being proven wrong, you know, like I've been in conversations with people, and I've, you know, thought I've said something smart, and then they've said like, well, actually, blah, 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 blah. And then I've been like, oh, and then there's this feeling you get like, oh, I feel less intelligent than this person now. Or I feel they've somehow like verbally jousted me out of existence, or so on and so forth, which I think is sort of shows that my priorities are messed up, because it's like, well, what is this? Is this a pissing contest, or do you actually care about the things you're talking about? Because if you actually care, it should be bigger than you and bigger than your sense of self, and like how ignorant it is to feel like to think that you're right just because you have convictions is, and when I say you, I mean me primarily, because that's who I've experienced it as, is the height of hubris.
Well, and I think, you know, the flip side of that is when you're the one that's sort of like dropping the truth bomb on someone else, you maybe like give them a pillow first or something, like, you know what I mean? Like you couch your language in a way where you're not like verbally jousting with them, like you said, and instead you're just like, well, have you considered this? Yeah. So I think that there's a way to play like the devil's advocate, or to play the other side of an issue without being a dick. Like, and that's something that I've had to learn as well, like as I've gotten older, because when I was younger, it was the same thing where it was like the motivation was just, I want to be right, or I want to be seen as the smartest person in the room. And now you realize like, no, I'd way rather be the most likable person in the room, or the person that like people want to come and have these conversations with, as opposed to people being like, oh yeah, that guy over there is really smart. Like, that does you no good socially. And I don't think it does anyone any good in the search for truth.
No, not at all. There's that, geez, this is just a content of me just quoting things, but there's that classic quote, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And I totally feel that. I'm just going to grab my water. Kiwi says, when I was probably 15, I had a crush on this older dude, and I thought myself edgy, so I took a piece of broken glass and lightly cut his name into my arm. Well, I'm glad you did it lightly. One thing I'll say about that is I'm a big fan of passion. Big time fan of passion. Shout outs to passion.
Yeah, Cece's in here telling personal stories about me, and I'm not sure I appreciate it.
What, this one? Okay, I once didn't hook up with a guy because he was too well endowed, but only after... I had a story like that. So my friend, I was living in a share house in Perth, and oh man, fucking hilarious. I think it was my 21st birthday actually. We had this big party, and I remember I remember like he goes to his bedroom with this lady, and about 10 minutes later she comes running out. She's like, it's too big. and you know, you'd think that like it was one of those like party stopping moments where everyone heard it and it becomes kind of the talk of the next 20 minutes. And everyone had expected him to kind of come out like, yeah, you goddamn right, it's too big. But I think he was so mortified by the fact that it was too big that he just like disappeared for the rest of the night. Funny.
Poor guy. Yeah, but at least his legend was cemented on that night, you know. Everybody was like, hey.
Yeah, it's a little too big, that guy. Poor guy. But actually, like, he did, it's so classy to be a bit embarrassed by that, to be like, not want to show your face after that. It's like,
sure.
Yeah, biggest.
Yeah, you don't come out of like a swagger, like the big man on campus.
Yeah.
You know, you just, like,
I'm just gonna.
It is. That would be, you know, a little embarrassing. I can't relate, but you know, I'm sure someone out there can.
So, dude, let's continue, huh? Also, let me just thank chat for hanging out. I really appreciate this. We've never done this before. Content live. I hope it's going all right. I'm enjoying myself. Okay, so Trouty, I don't think I've asked you this before. What drew you to gaming? What drew you to video games?
Oh, you know, Zephyrs had a tweet that was like, you know, what's your first memory of video games? And I think that, I don't know, it was a natural draw. Like, it was like gravity, you know? But I remember being like 4. So this would have been in 1990. Maybe it was right before 90. So it may have been 89. My cousin got the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, that had the Zapper gun and the Duck Hunt Mario Bros. Game combo, and he was like, "Hey, come check this out. Check out what I got for Christmas." And so I sat down and I started playing, and we were only there for like 20 minutes, but I started playing. I wouldn't hand the controller over because I was like, "No, I mean, I'm only here for 20 minutes. It's my turn." And then I remember my mom coming and being like, "Hey, it's time to go." And I just like bawled. I cried, you know. And for years afterwards, I didn't have like video games in the house. And so every time I'd go to a friend's house or a cousin's house, it's all I wanted to do. I was totally obsessed. And that obsession never really left me, you know? I mean, even, I know a lot of people say, and I think I've heard you say that, like, well, there was a period of time in my, you know, late teens to 20s where I didn't really game so much because it wasn't cool or whatever. Yeah. I never had that. I remember talking to people that were totally disinterested in video games at like frat parties, and being like, "So, what do you think of the new Pokemon?" They're like, "What?" So, yeah, I just have always been drawn to them, and you know, at some point my tastes sort of matured in some ways. I wasn't as much into like just your basic like side scrollers. I wanted to play like real in-depth RPGs and that kind of thing. I've always had that natural inclination to like want to live in that world, in like virtual worlds and that kind of thing. So
I just want to interrupt this by just saying that Cranberry Pudding has a question. Yes. He's asking me to ask you how you met his biological mother.
So this goes back to our conversation about how we want to be like the funniest people in somebody else's stream. So I have to try harder and harder to impress Cran. And one day I got the idea to like write out a whole like multi-paragraph story of how I met his mother. And I don't remember what the first one was, but there's a series now. I've done 4 of them now, and he always reads them out, and they're very ridiculous. I think one of them I was playing in the virtual chess world tournament against, if I recall, the name was like, I was playing against the chess master Gorky Korspororf.
Ah, Gorky, yeah.
And yeah, Gorky Korspororf, and luckily I was able to outmaneuver him. But yeah, there's been some like made-up sports that I've played. I was fighting in World War one time in the trenches of Verdun. So yeah, there's all kinds of different ways that I've met his mother. But
I love it.
It's definitely one of my favorite bits that I have going in Cran's stream right now.
Also, hello Cran, and thank you for the 10-month sub. Also, hi Raz, how you doing? Arcade, Kasako, what's up guys? Thank you so much for joining us. Coming back to what you were saying about never having a period that you were not gaming. The thing that really did it for me was logistical shit. Like I always had a little sneaky gaming on the side, and that's why handhelds were such a big thing for me. It was more that my lifestyle led me away from, well, A, money, but B, living abroad and things like that. I just wasn't able to, I had kind of a transient lifestyle for a long time. And so most of my, like, for about a decade, my fondest gaming memories were on the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy Color. And so I have a lot of my nostalgia actually involves, holding like an SP or something like that, which is interesting because it's sort of hard to translate that to the Twitch world or the streaming world, because I mean you can emulate it and shit like that. And the first thing I ever streamed was Dragon Quest on the Game Boy Color, which is a fucking awesome game, by the way. But yeah, I never really had that period off. It was just I didn't have a major console, I guess, at any point.
Sure. Well, and I can relate to that when I was younger, because when we were growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, and I remember the first console, I got was a Game Boy Color. And it was like the year that Pokemon had come out. I think Pokemon came out in like September. The Game Boy Color came out in maybe late November, right in time for the Christmas season. And so that's what I got for Christmas, was a Game Boy Color, the purple see-through one.
Oh, the Atomic Grape or whatever. Fuck, good one.
Yeah. And then I got Pokemon Red. And my brother got, I think, the same Atomic Grape or whatever, and then Pokemon Blue. And that was my first, console that we had. I had played like PC because my mom had a computer for work, so I was always playing Wolfenstein 3D and Doom and Civilization and stuff. But then, for some reason, Nintendo had its own, like, it was a different tier, It wasn't like the lame sitting in front of the computer playing, which now I'm all PC. But as a kid, you wanted to like play what your friends were playing. So I hear a lot of people be like, yeah, well, I got a Nintendo 64 or a PS2. My parents got me one when I was like 8. I never had that. I mean, I was 12 or something when I finally got a Game Boy. So all through middle school and high school, I was playing Game Boy. I bought the Game Boy Advance the day it came out with one of the launch titles was Tony Hawk 2.
It's actually a good port.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
So I played the hell out of that, and I played all the RPGs on those consoles. So I played Dragon Quest, the Dragon Quest Monsters series, Pokemon, a lot of Pokemon, Golden Sun, whatever I could get my hands on. But yeah, so handheld has a special place in my heart for sure.
Yeah, they're great machines, the old Game Boys. I got when I was 10 years old for Christmas. Was it my birthday or Christmas? One or the other. I got a black Game Boy Play It Loud edition. So before, like, it was the original Game Boy, but when they brought out the colorways, I got that with Super Mario Land. I think that's all I got was Super Mario Land, and it was like I felt like I'd arrived. Like I felt like I was there, like I had some neighbors down the street who had like a Super NES, and I felt like I was jealous of them. But as soon as I had my own little like thing, and then I got the Mega Man Wily's Revenge, and I became.
That's a good game.
They're great ports. I had this like obsession with that game for a long time because it's fucking hard. And, I'd write down all the little the pass codes on my little notepad and shit like that and try and do Elecman stage again every day over the holidays. Man, pen and paper gaming.
Oh, yeah.
So, coming back a little bit to this this draw of gaming, you are also a fan of, well, you're a lit fan, you're a film fan, you're a comic book fan, you're an anime fan, you're a manga fan, amongst other things, I'm sure. Is there something?
I like women too.
Oh, women. What is this? What is this word? So, what is it that gaming provides, or is there something that you can get from gaming that is not available in those other forms of media or art?
Well, there's certainly the kind of interactivity level that you get with gaming that you don't get with books and movies and anime and manga and all that. But then there's also the similar theme, which is escapism. Because I have so many like autobiographies and biographies like nonfiction, and it just bores me to hell, because for me it was always about, whether it was video games or movies or even music to some extent, it was about escaping like the present.
Yeah.
Which probably there's some therapist out there that would tell me that I'm like, that's a coping mechanism or something like that. I'm not interested in any of that because I'm busy watching Star Wars. And so yeah, there's probably this level of interactivity that gaming provides that those other mediums don't. But then on, like I said, there's an escapist part of my soul that just wants to like be elsewhere, and not have to live in this horrible world that I currently reside in. So,
well, it's interesting because I often thought it was the interactivity as well, and I might interact with chat here a little bit on this one as well, because it's something that I think about a lot. Hi chat, love you, haven't forgotten you. So I think the interactivity is one thing, but then when I look at my behaviors nowadays, i.e. watching Twitch streamers, some of whom are hanging out in chat right now, I realize that's not really an interactive gaming experience. Maybe you're interacting with the streamer themselves, but there's still something immersive about watching someone learn a particular game that or somebody experience a new game that you might not otherwise have experienced. And I feel like there is something just in the language of gaming. Like, when people talk about the beauty of cinema, like the language of cinema, there's something in the language of gaming, and I can't quite put my finger on it, that is exciting. There's this like possibility almost to it. That
I think
I've been trying to put my finger on.
A good example of what you're talking about are Dark Souls streams. I haven't streamed Dark Souls. I plan to eventually. I don't know. I own them all, and I own Bloodborne. But watching someone else take on a boss and like figure it out is a very satisfying thing.
It's joy.
But on the other hand, there are streams where somebody's playing like Final Fantasy or something, some game out like FF7. I've played it so many times, like I don't care, I don't want to watch it. I'm there for the interactive chat and to like make jokes and to, it's the social experience. Whereas with a lot of gaming, I play these like ridiculous epic games by myself. Where, like nobody is there and it's just me like escaping into this other world. So yeah, I think that there's kind of both of those things. Melissa says like it's the same reason we watch sports, and I think she's got something there. It's like
the narrative of people being challenged, right? And the narrative of competition and the psychology of what that brings out in people. Like people love watching like people kind of I think people enjoy my salt sometimes, or other streamers' salt, or watching their success or their rage and so on and so forth. I'm just gonna look at chat for a minute over here. Kiwi says when she was a parent, got a Game Boy, the 8-bit one, played the fuck out of Kirby and the Jurassic Park game. So let me just say, Kirby's Dream Land on Game Boy is pure candy. It's just a candy cane of delicious sweetness. And I love it. Great game. One of the easiest games in the world, but a great game. The Velociraptor first-person scenes in the Jurassic Park. I never played the Jurassic Park SNES game. Did you play it, Trout?
I never did. No, I've watched it for some reason. I watched this guy on YouTube called SNES Drunk, and he does reviews of like every good SNES game, and he has like an hour-long review of that, and I've watched it, so I'm intimately familiar with that game, but not because I played it. Yeah, so
we're learning Trout's deepest, darkest secrets. He's watched an hour of someone playing Jurassic Park on SNES. I'm into it.
No, so Kirby's Dream Land on Game Boy, though, that reminds me that when I was in college, I worked for part of the time I was in college, I worked in this office at the school. You know, it was just like a student job, and I was working like 20 hours a week, but nobody ever came back there. It was like a place where they could get testing equipment for psychological exams, but like nobody ever came. So I downloaded a Game Boy emulator and all these ROMs, and I remember playing through that game like 50 times while I was there, just because it was so easy and you could just sit there with like one hand on the keyboard and play the whole game. It was fantastic.
Glorious. Arcade says, watching the learning process is what I find the most fun in streams. And Arcade, I'd have to agree with you. That's definitely one of the things I love the most, which is why I'm looking forward to Carrion's Bloodborne experience. And why I've enjoyed Kiwi the Pirate's Dark Souls experience, Agus Kuhn's Demon Souls experience. Casco says, when you play, you have a great interactive escape from reality. When you watch a stream or a let's play, it's more of a similar escapism to movies or television. Yeah, Casco. I think it's also something akin to like maybe radio as well. Like this sort of live interface with, instead of music, with games. But yeah, I totally agree. Kirby's Dream Land 2. Yeah, Kirby's Dream Land 2 is actually even better. I've got that one. It's actually a better game, but I never had it as a kid. Blacks plays video games for fun. Remember the good old days. Flash was the rage. Websites all across the internet. Newgrounds, Miniclip. These two sites left my brain rotten. And that's why you are the way you are, Blacks. Now I understand.
Those Flash games were not something to joke about, though, for real. I mean, yeah, like that period of like the early 2000s to about maybe 2008, when like Newgrounds especially was this website where the games are just off the hook. There would be like full-length 60-hour RPGs that just some guy made, and he put it up there for free, and you could sit there, like you could save Pico, stuff like that. Oh man, it was so good. That's
wild. I gotta say, I did play some Flash games, but they always felt like half a click away from a porn site. There was something always a little seedy about the Flash games. I don't know what it was. Did you get that vibe? Maybe it was lots of pop-up ads or something like that. And so I just always felt a little bit like I needed to shower 10 minutes after being on those sites. Have a long hot shower. Let's continue, hey? What have I got written down here in my little notes? Oh, all right. Okay. So, I'm always thinking about Twitch because it's what I do. It's what I consume, what I kind of produce, or the platform on which I produce things. But it still confounds me a lot of the time what it is. Like, I'm still trying to, I think part of what content is me trying to figure out what this movement is and what it means and what it means to me. And, I've written down here that Twitch feels at times like a haven for those who've not found their people IRL. And what I mean to say is in terms of, similar interests, similar takes, we sort of have, people talk about this word community.
Sure. And
it raises the question, well, why seek a community if we live in communities? Like, I live in the community of this part of Melbourne. And do you think that's what it is? Is that a part of what Twitch is?
I mean, yeah, there's that. I think Twitch is a lot of things, though. I think there's that component, and that's been really good for me. I've mentioned to like my friends that I've made on here how lucky I feel to have met all of these people that I have similar interests with, and sometimes like value-wise or like belief-wise, it varies widely, but then you can have these like core things, mostly video games, but also, literature, film, whatever, that you can connect on, and it broadens your perspective, and it gives you, like you said, it gives you a group of people that, like, when I get home from work, I'm excited. I told you the first thing I do is I open up Twitch, and I'm like, okay, who's streaming? Where am I going to go? I'll bounce around between different people's streams and just catch up with everybody. And then the big thing that stands out to me that I always think, because I'm kind of an edgy boy on my stream, and I'll probably end up getting banned one day.
You don't say.
But if that happens, I've told people, I'm like, so be it, because now I have all of these friendships. I mean, I have people that I talk to every day now, and I never really had that. I have a couple very close friends. I have a best friend and a couple other friends. We talk every other week or so, but life gets in the way, kind of. And now I have all of these people that I can like check in with every day and have these nice, you know, beautiful conversations, sometimes while we're playing a game, or sometimes like last night, Cabster and I just sat, not even playing a game, and just talked for an hour and a half after I streamed.
Nice.
And that's really great to have people that you can connect with that are on the other side of the country, or in some cases, but like you and I, on opposite sides of the world. I mean, it's incredible. So
it really is. And you know, I've been lucky enough too. I had an experience the other day where I had a video call with a friend I hadn't spoken to, a friend that I had known for a long time, that I hadn't spoken to in probably 7 or 8 months, I'd say. Better part, you know, over half a year. And I actually had this weird experience of not having much to talk about with them. Despite the fact that, you know, we know so much about each other, and we've been through so much, and that they're doing something completely different, I'm doing something completely different. And I had this feeling like, oh my God, like I think I've moved. I feel a lot closer to a lot of people that I've met in the past year on this platform, yourself included, and some people in chat as well. And some other people, you know, around the Twitch sphere, the Twitchverse. And in a way, I feel like that's an interesting decision to make, to say, well, you know what, I had this proximity of people around me, but now I found these other people that I've like handpicked, or have handpicked me from around the universe, around the world. And I'm just going to stick with these ones now.
Sure.
And I guess what I'm getting at is, in a way, IRL, I feel like I've branded myself a bit of an outcast. Do you feel like you're an outcast in any way?
Do you mean like on Twitch, or
in real life,
like IRL?
In real life.
Okay. Yeah, I've always kind of felt like that. I have interesting way of interacting with people socially. Some may call it mildly autistic. But yeah, because of that, I've never had a lot of close friends. But I've noticed that, you know, especially if you have like a long period of time where you're not interacting with someone, and then you try to catch up and you try to like go back to where you were.
Yeah.
But because neither of you were the same person that you were back at that point, it just doesn't work. But yeah, I definitely have. You know, I wouldn't label myself an outcast, like I'm a rebel, I'm an outlaw. But because that's too cringe. But I definitely, yeah. I mean, I will spend time with like larger groups of people, and I'll be like, there's something that they get that I don't, or something. Like there's something that, or maybe it's like an energy that I'm putting off that people like automatically are like, yeah, this guy's kind of weird. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that, like, because they also are like, you know, I want them to also be like, yeah, he's a little weird, but he's nice and he's funny and he's well spoken. And if they're my coworker, I want them to know that I'm a hard worker. Yeah. So I struggle with that for sure.
That idea of being weird and being different. I remember when it was like a learning experience for me. I think I was in late high school, and someone said to me, who I wound up subsequently dating for fucking years. You know, she said this was before that. She said to me, "You're really weird," and I felt like I hadn't developed a sense of self enough at this point to be like, "Fuck yeah, I am," and you're not, so fuck you. But you know, she said it's great, like, or she said that's a compliment, or something to that effect, and that was like a light bulb moment for me. I'm like, oh, this isn't like I'm not just a pariah. Like difference doesn't have to be something to be ashamed of or something to hide. You know, I'd grown up in a country town, and people, I don't know, like I just, you know, I like sport, and I like being outdoors, and I like the beach, and I do that kind of stuff, but I also liked reading, and I also liked gaming and all these nerdy things, and that sort of made me different. And so I think for a long period of my young life, until I moved to the city, I thought that being different was wrong somehow, and that was like a very very comforting realization that no, like difference is great.
Well, and that's the key, right? Is so those people that are going to be like, "Oh, you're weird, get away from me." I think that those people are like afraid of stepping out of these boundaries that maybe society puts in front of us, or whatever. You know, if it's like work or school or whatever, then it's a smaller community. But whatever community you're in, you're going to have people that are afraid to step out. But if you're lucky enough to find those people that are like, "You're weird," and it's refreshing. And I like it, and they're attracted to that weirdness, then that's the place you want to be, or the people you want to find, and you know. So I feel like I've found some of those people in real life, but also I've found a lot of those people online that like appreciate my weird quirkiness and my edgy humor and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky.
I think it's like life is more interesting when there's a sense of the unexpected, or there's a sense of, and I don't mean like, whoa, everyone's crazy, you never know what's going to happen. I don't really mean like that. I just mean in terms of people's perceptions and people's takes and how a discussion might go. I don't want everyone to be, chainsaw wielding maniacs or anything like that. But but I really do appreciate difference and people being individual. Not that there's anything wrong with being a normie. I'm a normie in many ways. In fact, more recently I've been accused of being too straight edged. So I don't know. I can't win. Hi chat. Let me just say hi to a few names I've just seen come in. Hi. What's Cranberry saying? Post-Kuma millennial. You're the post-Kuma millennial. By the way, Cran, I went to Onibakuman's stream the other day, who you recommended. Medium Vibes. He's a great guy. Thank you for that recommendation. The Rosie, hello. This is the beloved Trout right here. Look at this boy.
Hello.
This
nice
wonderful boy. I've got a syndrome. Legit autism makes me not get social rules. I've learned they exist for a reason. Talk to outcasts, bad ones. 9 out of 10 times outcasts are outcasts. Well, there are bad. Yeah. Oh, totally. There's like legit outcasts because they do some fucking like heinous shit. For sure, blacks. I don't mean like that. I'm not. I'm not down with that kind of stuff. But just like people who are a bit eccentric, I would say. Life short. Be weird and be loud. Hell yes, CC. Hell yes. Arcade says, I overheard this dude at work say this job is harder than Battletoads. I went over to him and said I called over Zitz, Pimple, and Rash to give him a hand. He looked at me like I was a god. Which job? Which job? Oni Stashi Man. Yeah, you know CC. Being gay made me the weird one, so I never wanted to be an outcast, but to be accepted. Yeah. Yeah, Agus. Well, my friend, I have a friend who was a colleague, and he's still my friend now that I'm no longer in that profession, or not really. And he's a gay man from a more rural part of Australia. One interesting thing, like, you know, he and I share a lot in common in terms of our perceptions on life in this city, and in terms of just a lot of our values are very similar. We get along very well. He's a funny dude. And one thing I've noticed though about him is that he has this almost violent aversion to rural areas. And I think the experience, it must be because of his upbringing, and that just, if not X, then different. Like that really strict, you got to be this fucking guy. If you're not this guy, then you're weird. And I think that's what drew me to cities, actually, as an adult. But Trout, you live in a fairly rural environment, right?
I do, yeah. So I've lived in cities before, and I find them to be too noisy and too busy. So I work in a medium-sized city, in the downtown area, so it's very, I mean, every day I'm accosted by multiple people that don't understand that headphones mean I don't want to talk to you. And so, yeah, I can deal with it, but I just, at a certain point, decided that, like, I would rather live in a rural area, and it's semi-rural. I mean, there's, like a mile and a half down the road, there's a gas station where
That's
I can
rural.
go get snacks and gas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like being able to be alone. And that's the interesting thing that like Twitch and different like Discord and Twitter and stuff, they give you the opportunity to interact with people whenever you want, but I can go outside and have a cigarette on the porch and not have to worry about people walking by or people seeing me or anything like that. So it's, you know, it's a good balance, I guess.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a yo-yo relationship with urban environments, which I'm not going to get too much into because I feel like I bitch about the city every fucking 5 minutes on stream. But yeah, I'm definitely coming to a point where I see there's sort of a happy medium in mind where I like, you know, I want to get a medium balance of the pros of both without some overwhelming cons. Like, for example, I hate the outrageous costs of living in a city, the lack of personal space, also the lack of just human interaction. I feel like the more people, the less people are valued, and the more people become an annoyance. And like, people aren't like, that isn't like, oh, someone from down the road or someone that I know from this situation. It's 25 motherfuckers in my way as I'm trying to get to this point, and they're trying to get to their points, and we're all just sort of congesting each other and kind of just mildly irritating each other. And I'm sort of over that, you know? But also at the same time, I'm not going to go and work on a farm. So I'm sort of looking at my ideal is sort of a small city, you know, a place where, and I think the thing you give up with small cities is that they're generally not as cool. They might be a little more beige, but I've sort of realized that cool to me is kind of an illusion anyway. And like, it's just it's just a style. It's just a choice of aesthetics and a choice of a different kind of conformity anyway. So I guess I'm not that perturbed by that anymore.
Yeah, and I found, so I've got two things that are kind of popping in my head. The first is that I'm not kidding. I live in an area where like when someone new moves in, even if it's like, you know, a quarter mile down the road, like you'll fix them a plate of cookies and go and introduce yourself. Like, it's old school, like rural hospitality. Like, people are very nice. People are very trusting too, but for good reason, because there's not any crime here. There's not, I mean, one time I had my car broken into in my driveway, but yeah, so very trusting. It's as tight-knit as communities get now, you know. I mean, with everybody staying inside watching TV all the time, things don't get real tight-knit, but it's still, you know, like, you know your neighbors, and you know if there's something off or there's something weird, and that's hard to do when you're living in an area where you have hundreds of neighbors. But then the other thing that comes to mind that you had mentioned about like these beige kind of smaller cities, or where I live is very beige, and you know, like my close friends, we don't have a lot of the same interests. We don't listen to the same music. Even, you know, some of them play video games, but we don't play the same kinds of video games. But I found that like sometimes the closest friends aren't, and it's the same thing with like a romantic relationship, right? If you're basing it off of mutual interests, then maybe it's not the most mature relationship.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're best friends because we both like Final Fantasy and Radiohead. Like, those are really shallow reasons to care about a person. Instead, like my best friend, we're best friends because our souls align, you know, because he is loyal and is respectful of me, and I'm loyal and respectful of him. And like, if one of us isn't there and somebody's talking shit, like, we'll be like, hey, that's my best friend, shut the fuck up, you know?
Well,
and that's something that like transcends the music we listen to, these like petty, like, or our favorite movie director or whatever. Like, my best friend doesn't know movie directors. He doesn't know Scorsese from Tarantino, from Alfred Hitchcock. He doesn't know any of that. And those are like, that's a huge interest of mine. But because of that, he learns about it. He listens to me talk, and it's the same thing. Like, he's really into, you know, football, American football. I don't give a shit about football, but I'll listen to him for half an hour because he has that passion, and because I love him, you know, because he's my best friend. So
no, that's wonderful, and that's a real friendship, and a really rewarding friendship. For me, I think friendship and relationships, the ones that really matter and stand the test of time, are the ones where there is some understanding of, there's like a deep understanding of where someone's coming from. And like those friendships where you like know how someone will react to something. If you think like, oh man, fucking so and so would just be like appalled by this, and this is like, this will go against everything they stand for, and you know, and I think sometimes people use those, oh, you like X music, I like Y game, as a sort of shorthand, like a shortcut to those things. Like, bridge, oh, yeah, I like Final Fantasy VII, you like Final Fantasy. Oh, that's great because, you know, I'm really into the eco message about it, so therefore you must be about that. When in actual fact, no, they're just like Cloud's spiky hair and the Buster Sword. Right. So like, you don't really know, right? Like it might, I think it's a good starting point. You know, for example, I love a bunch of music, you know, and I went through a phase where I listened to so much hip hop music and jazz music, and I would only sort of associate with people that, well, it's not, I wouldn't like ignore people that didn't, but I just would gravitate towards people based on that. But then I realized within that, there were some people who, there was like 20% of those people who I really got along with because we sort of, it opened up similar ideas. But then there was others who were into it for a whole different reason, and I had less in common with them than with any stranger off the street.
Sure.
So I totally get that. Let me just, I see chats popping off. Let me just say hi to chat again. Hi guys, love you guys. Let's see what people have been saying. Blacks, gotten a couple of fights, nothing too violent, but they're for a reason. I don't like people, but you can live with some people. Can't I try to help those people? But some assholes need an example of why not to duck, but sometimes you got to show them that. Well, I would recommend Aurelius. Just you know, live and let live, I would say. But that's just me. Yeah, living by example, living and letting live. Melissa Kim, I've always loved living in cities, but I've come to really appreciate the slower rural life. Well, Melissa Kim right now is living in Korea. So is there, what's the situation there, Melissa? Can you find, like, what is the equivalent of rural there? And when I was in China, you can find pseudo-rural, like there are obviously farms and shit like that. And that goes back to actually, Trout, your insult of a farmer. That was a pretty common insult that my students used to give people. They'd be like, "Nongming Ren, Nongming Ren." Yeah, when someone was like, when they thought someone was like being dumb or whatever, they'd call them a farmer.
Like a redneck, basically.
Basically, yeah, basically. Yeah. But even in those rural places, there was still this like bustle. Still this like density of population. Like people, I think, just wanted to be kind of close to other people. So it never really felt as rural as some parts of Australia. Though Australia gets about as rural as it gets, I think, in some parts.
Sure.
40 mins from Cleveland, and I love my area. City, not too far enough, but rural enough to enjoy doing stuff outside and having privacy. That sounds great.
Same.
That sounds great. You know, the weird thing is, again, I hate to always bring it back to Australia, but Australia is weird like that because we have a couple of big cities like Melbourne and Sydney. They're not like New York, but they're like, you'd go there and be like, that's a pretty big city. And then a couple of like slightly smaller cities, and then just tiny towns. And there's not really much middle ground. So you find you're either in this vast urban sprawl in the heart of absolutely everything, or in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Like I found it kind of hard to find places like Thoreau's mentions, actually. Though it sounds great. I, on the other hand, the weird one that hates bringing philosophy to human emotion. I find it hard correlating them, just the fact fiction thing. Hold on, I need to read that again. Hates bringing philosophy into human emotion. Just the whole fact fiction thing. I'm not sure what to make of that. Trout, can you elaborate
I think
there?
maybe I'm reading too much into it, but maybe instead of fact fiction, you're thinking more like abstract and concrete, maybe like taking the abstract, which you know, I don't know. I'm thinking about like Aristotle dealing in these abstract kind of nebulous concepts and trying to like drill them into your day-to-day.
Okay,
but like
yeah.
that's where I think Stoicism especially is good, because it's more concrete. It's more like just do this every day.
So practical. It's so very, very practical. And like sometimes Aurelius will get into like the nature of fate and the gods and things that are deemed and where it may have started or it may have started. And I'm not as like, sometimes I feel like he makes a few logical leaps. Like sometimes he'll talk about everything was fated and everything is good or everything is in nature, but then he'll talk about evils. There's a bit of like, sometimes his stuff on overall good and evil kind of confounds me a bit, but I just go, that's fine. I still like your advice otherwise.
Well, and I think that some of that's just like the cultural norm at the time.
Yeah.
Was like everybody believed in those things. Like there weren't atheists in ancient Rome. Like no one, you know, so it's hard to like, I remember taking a philosophy class where we were studying, I think we were reading The Republic, and Plato like kind of leans on the gods all the time. And I remember this one kid that was like the annoying atheist in class that was like, I'm not very comfortable with the way he keeps talking about the gods. And the professor was like, sorry.
Would you like Plato to write an apology for you? Like,
yeah, it's
fucking
like,
idiot.
Okay.
Oh damn. Yo, Iggy Coops, hello. How you doing, Iggy? And Turbo Dog, the best looking boy. Thank you, Turbo Dog. How are you, mate? Agreed, PSX boy. Debate always makes for good conversation, and that's another thing I look for in friendships as well, is people that will give me these conversations that challenge me, that like give me new ideas. I don't want to be friends with Trout because he reaffirms every bullshit lie I believe about myself in the universe. I like the what I learn from the guy. You know, it's like nice to. Sorry to refer to you in the third person right now, Joe. But it's this NPC over here makes me feel good. But yeah, no, it is about those challenges and differences and how they enrich your life or can help you to change your own life and to really make it enrich it. True Romance, best Tarantino script. I fucking love that movie, Arcade. I don't know if it's because
Jackie Brown's better.
Jackie Brown's so good. Yeah. Jackie Brown's also the soundtrack to Jackie Brown. But no, I mean, True Romance is I find it a very romantic film, I will say. Why we can never be friends IRL, Turbo? What are you talking about? Because of our same interests. Hello, Kiki Tofu. Hello. Oh, Nong Ming Ren is a very Chinese insult. Absolutely. Or they used to have another one, Liao Biao. Liao Biao, but I think that might have been like that's a specific type of hick in the South. Well, I only heard it in the Southwest. I'm not sure, but it was like these farmers that would come in to like sell their wares, like watermelons or mango or something like that on big trucks under bridges and shit like that, and they'd wear these like shiny pinstripe suits with like no shirt underneath and have like big like B-grade K-pop hair. But also just be like smoking, like they'd sort of like have this like weird backwater appreciation of what they thought a city aesthetic was, like their own version of it.
Me of Kung Fu Hustle.
Yes, yes.
That reminds me of like some of the characters from that.
Absolutely, like some of like the Axe Gang in that and stuff like that, like that kind of style. Yeah, it's a real thing. Just got a modern address and the city center is maybe just a few thousand. Oh, really, Melissa Kim? That's dope. That's what I'm about. That pseudo rural life. I'm doing that, letting others by giving them breathing room of dealing with shit from other people. Yeah, I think everyone needs breathing room sometimes. By the way, thank everyone for joining us. Hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm sometimes disappearing to chat with Trout, but I'll come back. I'll always come back for you. Hi, Beezy. Hi, Breezus. Hi guys, welcome in.
Hey, Mom.
Hi Mum. Thoreausi, thank you for the biddies. I don't have the alert, but thank you so much. Thank you so much, Thoreausi. You're the best. Yeah, look how well your son's doing, Breezes. He's making me look good, actually. Thank you. Okay, I've got a couple more things I want to talk about. We're not going to go too much longer today. First things first. This is something that came up the other night, and I don't know. I need to discuss it with somebody. Lately in my YouTube feed, I've been getting these recommended videos, and I feel like you've probably have seen. I'm sure you're aware of these or have seen them before. And they're usually about 10 seconds to a minute long. And they're usually entitled something along the lines of Oblivion NPC conversation or dialogue.
It's funny you brought this up because just the other day someone mentioned these same thing, like the same words and everything. They were like, yeah, just randomly, and I've been watching them. But I've been watching those for years.
Yeah, I figured they've been around for a long time.
I've seen every good one, and a lot of really bad ones. But sorry, continue with your question. But I'm very familiar with the Oblivion NPC.
I thought you might be. Yeah, I've been very conflicted about these because I started watching a couple of them. Like I did the dumb thing and I clicked because I'm like, I got to know what this is. And then a couple of them are very funny usually in a very dark way, or very bleak kind of way. And I do love some bleak humor. But now I feel this kind of conflict in watching them, where something I've noticed, because often they'll get angry, the person on camera, and
it turns into the battle.
It'll turn into the battle music, which is funny. Yes, I admit it. It's funny. But often what they're getting angry with is the fact that they're being filmed by a stranger.
Right. Yeah.
And
I've talked about this at length with Silas, my brother, and you know Silas.
Yes.
We've talked about which ones. So we've determined that there's basically 3 types. The first type are the staged ones, and those are fine because they're staged and they're hit or miss. The second type are the ones where it's like just a random interaction, and somebody filmed it not with the intent of like making fun of anyone, but it was just like filming, and the cameraman is sort of this external party, so they're not getting mad. But then the third ones are kind of what you're getting at, and a lot of those are like mentally disabled people, or like drug addicted people, or like homeless people, like all of that stuff. And that's where you're like, I'm not gonna laugh at this, and those are the ones that I try to avoid. I don't even think they're that funny usually when someone who's clearly has like Down syndrome is saying weird stuff. Like, I mean, they're mentally disabled, you know, so like, or it's somebody freaking out because, like you said, because they're being filmed, and it's not fun or funny, and I don't find those entertaining really. There's a few that are kind of funny.
Well, that's the thing, because
for the most part,
sometimes it is funny, and I have to admit it because I've watched now probably a bunch of them, but I've started to feel a little bit of like, ooh, like, and then I've started to put myself in the situation. There are certainly times in public where if some motherfucker were to film me,
right?
Look, I might end up one of those NPCs, you know, because a lot of the time you hear them being like, "Why are you filming me? Why are you filming me?" And there's something kind of dystopian about that shit at the same time. So it's iffy in my mind.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm with you on that. I think that I've had moments, not recently, I tend to do a better job of controlling myself now, but when I was younger, definitely, I still have anger problems. I have a temper that can flare up pretty quickly. Now, I've learned to manage it and deal with it in healthier ways. But there was a time, I mean, I had some public freakouts, but it was before the days of everybody's filming, everybody's got like a high quality 4K camera. And so I feel bad for like younger people, because younger people especially don't necessarily have the filter that comes with age and wisdom. And I feel so bad for like Zoomers. I mean, Zoomers growing up, or younger millennials that are growing up at a time where like so many people have unintentionally gone viral for like one stupid mistake, and then everybody forever is going to know them as
remember
like, oh,
them
you're
as
the
that
guy
person
that flipped out and flipped that table or did this or that, you know.
Yeah
So
it's wild, right? Like it's And I feel like the people who film these things, and I'm not trying to demonize, you know, like, I'm not saying like, oh, it's evil. I don't think people realize until it happens to them. Like, sometimes I imagine being one of those people that's just like a meme of some outrageous, you know, fucking stupid shit that you do that 20 million people have seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if you saw a video tomorrow on YouTube, like fucking of you at 17 doing some fucking dumb shit, like maybe that farmer conversation, like someone actually filmed that shit, and suddenly 18 million people have seen it. Like, fuck, imagine your day, that day.
Yeah, and then often, you know, because I think about that, and you popped this one thing in my head where this kid was like bullying me relentlessly, and I was like a junior in high school, and we were at a track meet. I ran track, and we're at a track meet, and I like lost it, man, and I was yelling at him, and then some parent was like, I was cussing, and some parent was like, hey, my kids are here, and so I yelled at the parent. I was like, congratulations, you fucked some guy, and now you have kids. I like lost it, man. And today, yeah, that would have gone online, and everybody would have seen it, but instead it was just like 30 people that saw it, and then I got in trouble, and that was it, you know. So
damn,
yeah,
man,
it's very
and
sad.
that we're lucky that we missed that opportunity. Also, I just noticed we got rated. FDR Phil, what is up, Raiders? Sorry, there's no alert because we're doing something a little different today. My name is Porto. His name is MyNameIsTrout. I hope that's not confusing. Welcome in. This is Content Live, a little podcast, not podcast thing that I'm doing. We're chatting, having a good old time. Go follow this boy right here. See that boy? Follow him. You must.
I think you might be pointing the wrong direction.
No, I'm seeing. I'm looking at this shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. It's backwards for me. So.
Oh, you mean that boy? Yo, let me just catch up with chat a little bit here. Shaolin Soccer is great. Okay, it's the same filmmaker, I think, as Kung Fu Hustle. Guys, if you haven't seen Kung Fu Hustle, ooh-wee. Pure popcorn film. Kiki says, my friends in our Discord channel keep a channel out of context quotes that kind of works like what you're talking about. We're close to just, yeah, well, see, that's how it should be, I think, Kiki, where the shit that the little dumb things you do, it's your circle that remembers them, and they can kind of bring it up to roast you with, not the entire populace of the globe. I think that's much better. Hi, Violet Flame. Hello, mum of someone in this chat. I know who it is.
I do too.
How you doing? Amazing how this community and how they came together and enjoyed the connections. New world with positive vibes. Well, medium vibes, but yes, positivity is a part of that. Hello, Violet Flame. Lovely to see you in chat. Doing great, FDR Phil. Doing fantastic. Trout is, you know, lifting my spirits as ever. As ever. I mean, look at this boy. We love you. We love you too, Violet Flame, and all of you guys. Okay, so I have one more thing to talk with you about today, Trouty. Now, this is the shameless part. This is where we end. We're gonna enter shameless territory now.
Yeah.
Oh hi, Dredsley. Oh hi.
Oh hi.
Night CC. So for those who don't know, let me just go into Porto mode here for a minute. I was recently approached by this guy, and he said he had an idea of something he wanted to work on. Trouty, what is this thing that we've been working on?
Okay, so this kind of harkens back to our conversation about my reading streams, doing the Lord of the Rings streams, where I'm reading like a chapter every night, because I got this feeling that we're connecting over video games, but I feel like there's a lot of people on Twitch that are very interested in other forms of media and art, specifically literature and film. And so I had this idea, like, I want to do a show where it's a book club. The book club wasn't my initial idea. Let's just find a book where we all read together and we meet, you know, every week or every other week, and we go over what we've read and we discuss it kind of actively, and we learn together and we learn other people's perspectives on the literature and on the world at large. And then I thought, well, why not throw in film as well? So, of course, I went to our good friend Porto here with the idea of, like, let's do a book and film, you know, group, like, where we get together and we watch movies together and we appreciate art together. And you know, Porto's another literature guy. I think he studied literature in school.
Apparently.
So, yeah, supposedly.
So he
So I wanted to get something going, and obviously I came to Porto first with this idea, and it's something we've been kind of cooking up over the last couple of months. And I really would love to see, you know, as many people as possible. We've got a Discord, and we can throw the link in there into chat if you haven't joined yet. But we've got a Discord, and the idea is basically we're gonna read. Where's that book at? There it is. One moment. Sorry. Shit. Wrong side. Anyways, so the first book we're gonna do is To Kill a Mockingbird. It's an American classic, and it's a really great book. It's a good read, but it also touches on some pretty serious social issues that I think would be, you know, interesting to get different people's perspectives. So the idea is we'll read a book. It'll take us, you know, it'll take a little while. Maybe we'll read 100 pages and then get back together, talk about it, read another 100 pages, and then watch the film as well. There's a really great movie with Gregory Peck. To Kill a Mockingbird is the name of the film, obviously.
What?
And so yeah, the idea is to try to take our communities that we've built, or this larger community, bring it all together, and instead of just kind of sitting and playing video games, which is active for one person but passive for everybody else, have this thing where we're actively like engaging with each other about art and film and literature, and trying to learn from each other and discuss our different ideas on various novels and films. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be great.
Me too, Trouty. Just hold on 1 second.
Yeah, of course. Hey everybody, welcome to the My Name is Trout show.
No, I got my copy in the mail the other day. So, okay,
Nice.
so I am. For those who don't know, I'm not American, and so this is not considered, like, everyone has heard of this. It's in the lexicon. It's a known piece of literature that is important, but it doesn't have the same relevance in Australian society. I mean, in some ways it might, but this is not like a text that is taught in high schools for the most part over here. And it wasn't on any literature course I did at university. And so this is actually going to be the first time I read this book, which is kind of cool. I know, Trout, you've obviously read it before. And so I think this is kind of cool, though, and quite emblematic of what we're going for with this thing. Is Trout and I are not trying to come across as literature professors. More, we're interested students, and we're doing this because this is something fun, and this is like something that, well, for us anyway, it's fun. It will be a great talking point, and there's things we can extrapolate on and pontificate about.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited about this.
And the thing that I kept hearing from people, because I would mention while I was streaming, I'd be playing some game and I'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, I love reading. And I'd hear from people all the time the same thing that I have said a million times, which is like, I used to read all the time.
Yeah.
But then somewhere along the way, I just kind of slowed down on my reading, and I barely read anymore. And this is an opportunity to get everybody together who like remembers when they used to love to just sit down with a good book, get them all together and try to re-foster that love for literature again.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's kind of, I think one of the reasons that people have, and this is not me pointing fingers or anything like that, because I've experienced it to a degree. I was an English teacher, I was a lit major, and I've experienced it to a degree. There is a sort of pull that I felt from screens, these wonderful things that I do treasure and that I'm sort of surrounded by every day, that has, I think, dragged my focus away from these things, where I have to force myself to sit down and read for like an hour, you know, every now and then, and these kind of things. But I love this idea of us bringing it back through the screens and kind of like integrating this into it. And I just think it's a great use of, it's a potentially great use of Twitch and social media in general.
Definitely. Now, the one thing that kind of has struck us both as well is this idea that maybe not everyone is going to be interested in sitting down and reading.
Totally.
And so, to remedy that, I've been doing the reading streams, and I will be doing, I'll be reading it. I'll be reading whatever book we're going to be doing. I'll be reading it off on my own, but I'll also do streams. So maybe we'll do a show every 2 weeks, I think is the plan right now. During that 2-week period, all the reading will be done on my stream. I'm going to read it all live for people, and we'll talk about it while we read it. So there'll be that, but then we'll also come together every 2 weeks with Porto and Trout and all of you guys, and we'll have a better kind of more organized way of like going over everything and discussing it, different ideas. And then we have the Discord as well, which is a place where you can actively throughout that 2-week period, you know, share your thoughts or share ideas or just share other movies and books and stuff that you're interested in. So
totally. I should also point out that this is not going to be on either of our channels. This is a separate channel. So like nothing's changing over here in Porosha at all. It's all maintaining this. The ship is still on the same course over here. This is just an extra project that we're doing. Probably once a fortnight, I would say, is the general plan for it. And here's another thing as well, because I was talking to one of my mates about it, who occasionally pops in to chat here, Empire of Chi, my friend Chi. And he's excited. He wants in, but he wants to go the audiobook route, because he listens to audiobooks while he's like doing his shopping, while he's going for walks and shit like that. And so we're also going to make sure that we like provide different links to like maybe the best, what we think is the best narration of it on Audible, or what's the cheapest and stuff like that. It's where the idea is to make it as accessible.
Free ebook.
Or a free ebook. Yeah, we want it to be as accessible as possible. And we're not going to read through it too fast. I'd say, what we say, like 100 pages every fortnight or something like that.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 100 pages. It's not bad.
And it doesn't even like we're gonna put it all up on YouTube as well. So even if you fall behind, doesn't matter. Like it's all good. It's all to be consumed at your own pace. The one thing that I, as a literature student, the one thing that stressed me out, other than having to read after that motherfucking Fitzgerald II, was like having a tutorial discussion or a workshop, and I maybe didn't read everything that week. Like if, you know, maybe there was a big party and maybe I did a little bit of this and, you know, and that feeling of like, oh fuck man, like I'm supposed to have read this whole book. I've only read 2/3 of it. I've read 1/3 of it. And that where you got to go in and attend, but then you're sort of like only like, I would do my strat in these circumstances, which only happened a couple of times, but they mortified me when they did, would be like, I'd get in early and like try and make some really like big points about something that happens on like the 50th page. Just like, so it's like, oh, they know that I did my bit, and now I'll just like quietly, you know, nod and smile at everything else.
Well, but that's the good thing here is there's no grade. Like this isn't a class. You're not being graded. No, it's just an opportunity for interested parties. No, there's no teacher. There's no student. It's an opportunity for interested parties to just foster a love for reading, you know.
Yeah.
And for film. Don't forget the film.
And for film. Too. Fuck yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I was just saying to Trouty before we started, last night I watched the film LA Confidential for like the first time in about a decade. Has anyone in chat seen this film recently?
So good.
Beezy, you're excited? So glad to hear, dude. So glad to hear. Reading and board games are becoming lost. Yo, that makes me think, Tobido, we should have a fucking tabletop sim stream sometime soon, or even not even a stream. Maybe we should just do it, just do it with people off stream. That'd be fun too. We get really racy, really lewd.
Well, and I think Kiki brings up a good point. This is something we've talked about too. She says, I think it's a good idea as long as it doesn't become exclusive or disengaging for occasional visitors. And I think that's a great idea. And that's why we're going to have older episodes are going to be available on the YouTube channel, so you can follow along. The format of the show is going to be like a discussion, just like this format. It's going to be a discussion between Porto and I, and occasionally we'll kind of get into chat and talk to chat. But that's the number one thing, is we're not highfalutin, you know, like, oh, you didn't do the reading. No. It's an opportunity to just discuss not just the work, but we're also going to be discussing the author. We're going to be discussing the time period in which it was written, what the social issues surrounding it are, which To Kill a Mockingbird, for those who have read it, know there are some very deep social issues that go into this. and we're gonna get into that. It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited about it.
Me too, dude. And I'm really thank you as well for calling me about it. Hello, Feral. How you doing? Is this a rap battle stream? You just missed round 3. I
won.
Chat says that Trout won, but I think that's because Trout got to go second, and we know in rap battles, it's always the person that gets to go second that wins because they get to respond. So were it the other way around, I think the result might have been different. Hello, Feral Housewife. How you doing? Some Catan streams. Yo, I do love me some Catan. I love me some Catan. You get banned? Blacks. Just don't fucking say anything bannable. It's easy.
Not that easy. It's not that easy.
Hey champ, what's up? How you doing, champ nephew? Do rap battles exist on Twitch? There's a myth. That's actually a good question. Do they? That would
probably the backpacker scene and stuff. I would guess they do.
Their backpack strap, just getting it done. Friday night philosophy really nails the A's on those bananas. Plenty of titty streamers. Why not rappers? Why not both? Who was CC playing on a stream yesterday? What was her name? The fucking, she's like dressed up like a baby and talking about fucking and stuff like that. Who's that rapper? PP Cocaine. Hey Kai, that's exactly why I disabled sound commands, because I knew there was going to come a point. That was the
first thing I tried.
That was
as soon as I came in,
I knew there was going to be. I was going to like say something. It was going to be like bullshit. Kai, how you doing, man? Can we get some titty streamer battles? Well, Trout and I will take some hormones and we'll get it done. We'll loosen these.
Yeah.
It'll come back to us in a year. And we'll do
it's a sub reward, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start HRT.
PP Cocaine. It is PP Cocaine, CZ. Oh my god, that shit. I'm not gonna lie. I love that you played it, and I love that artists exist and they do what they want. Felt dystopian to me though. I felt like that was like a video clip from like that you would see in the background of like an 80s view of a dystopian future, like where everyone else is just like living on the streets and you got PP Cocaine up there like, and I'm getting fucked. But I loved it. Tune in tomorrow night as Turbo Dog does a titty stream. I'm in. I'm fucking in. I love it. So yeah, dude, I'm really excited about this. This is actually what I'm going to start doing this weekend. I'm going to start reading this bad boy.
Excellent.
When are we doing this stream, Trouty? What's the date?
Well, I'm on Eastern Standard Time. I'm on close to the East Coast here in the United States. So for me, it is going to be, I believe, Thursday, the 1st of April, Thursday night. Now, for those of you who live down under, or in the future, as I like to call it, that would be on the 2nd, Friday, April the 2nd. So it's a week away. It's going to be our first meeting. The first meeting, you don't have to have any reading done. It's going to be an introduction. We're gonna shake the rust off and try to get things smooth going. We'll talk about the author Harper Lee. We'll kind of give an introduction to her life and maybe some background events and stuff, and we'll get into that, and then we're off. Every fortnight or every 2 weeks we'll meet and we'll discuss the reading, and we'll have like a little bit of a show for you, and then yeah.
I'd like to just announce that I'll be taking a backseat to Trout. As Trout is the American here, I'll be playing the role of interested bystander. But no, I'm very excited to hear what Trout has to say about it, because on purpose we haven't really discussed it off stream, because I want that real reaction.
Definitely.
And I'm really interested to hear the American perspective, hear Chat's perspective, and those like me who haven't experienced it. Maybe I'm the only one, I'm not sure. I think that's going to be an interesting counterbalance, like reading it from a completely different perspective at a different time in history. So very, very excited for that. Trouty, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
This has been fun, man. This has been fun.
It has really been fun. We were talking. I was really nervous coming into this, but this went really well. I enjoyed it. Chat, you guys have been great. Very awesome.
Chat, you've been awesome. Keeping us on our toes. Like Kai asking me why Trout's cam is 2 pixels higher. All right. Honest answer. And we're just gonna do this last part of chat, just chatting with you guys. So you got anything you want to ask me, anything you want to ask Trout, you can just roast us if you want. I don't give a fuck. Don't get banned though, Blacks. The reason, Kai, all honesty, that Trout's camera is 2 pixels higher is because I tested this overlay screen with cranberry pudding, right? I just had a phone call, a Discord call with him the other day. I needed to line stuff up in advance. And cranberry pudding's name starts with a C. So on Discord, it comes before mine. So when I fired this up this morning, when I was like, oh, we've got it all set up, it's going to be fine. We're both in the wrong spot and like all the overlays are messed up. So if I would go to if I'd go to this screen, it would be me. It was all messed up. And so I had to very quickly readjust that on the fly, hence it being out of line. But thank you for noticing.
I can't see it. I can't see it, so I don't know. But I would assume that it's sort of he's being 2 pixels submissive to my dominant nature.
I mean, what?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Can Trout do the smoke ring trick, Blacks?
I just tried. It's not. Yeah, I can't. Sorry.
Can anyone here do it?
While he was talking.
Walked into a Twitch roast. Yeah, get us. Pancakes or waffles? For me, always pancakes. Every time.
Same.
Every time.
I'm a pancake man. Waffles are too meaty. There's too much, I like a nice thin flapjack.
Yeah, pancake me. And what do you have on your pancakes, Trouty? I'm a lemon squeeze and sugar guy.
What?
Lemon squeeze and sugar.
An Australian thing. So you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I'm a naked pancake man. I like a nice glass of milk and just maybe a little.
Are you a serial killer? A glass of milk.
A glass of milk and a dry pancake.
That's a serial killer breakfast.
Yeah, my mom says the same thing. She's like, "Honey, we have all these toppings," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, these are good. I mean, they're fine on their own."
Look, I like the simplicity. I appreciate the simplicity. Oh damn, I'm just thinking of Clockwork Orange now. Let me just catch up. Enjoyed the 10 minutes I caught. Thank you, champ. Thank you. Question: who do you think looks more like Eminem out of Trout and me? I think 100% Trout. I think 100% Trout. He has the nose. Look at this is the look at this pointy. Look at this Pinocchio shit over here. That's not Eminem-y, and it's too thin here. I think Trout looks much more like Eminem.
Yeah, if you guys came to my streams where I'm wearing the hood up, then I.
Oh, that's 8 Mile Part 2.
Yeah,
I've seen that
exactly. Shit. Mom's spaghetti and everything.
PSX boy claims that he can beat you at the smoke ring comp. I believe.
I'm sure he could. Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm no Gandalf.
Do the ship that Gandalf blows. Yo, that is a dope scene, actually. What is Gandalf smoking ganja at the start of that film? I feel like he is.
No, it's like a pipe leaf. It's just tobacco. I watched like a 3-hour video that was breaking down what pipe tobacco or what their pipe weed, I think is what they call it. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Melissa Kim is with me on that lemon and sugar, or at least is humoring me on it. Have you guys tried lemon and sugar on? I almost said Melissa and sugar on pancake. Lemon and sugar on pancake. It's really good. I'm telling you, it's a real thing.
I might give it a shot sometime.
Try it out. Does Trout dip his pancakes like a scone? Asked Ezra. And also, hello Ez, how you doing? So Turbo Dog's not joining our book club, I think, because of our pancake choices. And that's that's fair.
I was lying. I pour water on them. I don't know.
What's the standard? Is it like maple syrup? Is that the standard?
Yeah, here it's pretty much maple syrup, a nice big pat of butter. That's the American way to do it.
There was some Canadian lasses who were staying with us back when I was living in Perth, and they did like this intense hedonist pancake breakfast where it was like strawberries, bacon, maple syrup, fucking other fruits and all kinds of weird shit. And I was weirdly confronted by it. It just wasn't what I thought a pancake was supposed to be. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, Empire of Chi is here. Lemon and honey is the only way. Maybe it is an Australian thing. Maybe. Has anyone else heard of it? Because cheese from Australia. Lemon and sugar is great on crepes, which are just a thick pancake. Violet Flame, because you lived in Australia for a while as well. Is this secretly Australian? What's going on here? Vanilla ice cream scoop on pancake. I'm going to give you guys a very quick anecdote about myself regarding vanilla ice cream. I was once employed as a vanilla ice cream taster. So
it's a job that exists.
It was a temporary job. I got paid for like a couple of weeks to do this. And it was
like quality control.
It was the funniest shit, man. I was like 20 or something. I'd get really baked. Be like, let's have some ice cream tasting. Go into this like corporate building. There'd be like 10 of us lined up. Just a weird, diverse selection of humans from the region. And we'd all, it was kind of serious. We'd sit down in this like windowless room, sit down at our desks or our tables, and there'd be these forms in front of us. And this lady would come in and discuss, now this is the process we're going to undertake. First, we're going to bring out 3 different vanilla ice cream samples for you. We're not going to tell you what they are. Before you taste the ice cream, you must complete the first form. And so the first form, which is basically ticking boxes on scales, like sliders, how creamy does it look? Does it look more white or more yellow? How tasty do you expect this to be? What about the smell? And you'd have to like go through this shit beforehand, and then you would have a second form based on the ice cream. So I'm a fucking paid vanilla ice cream tasting expert, and I got to tell you,
something to put on your resume.
I got to tell you, it was quite a job. It was quite a job. Real job. Real story. True story, guys. My disappointment at missing 2 hours of this is immeasurable. But otherwise, I'm okay. Oh, Ez, I'm going to put it up on YouTube. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Speaking of which, guys, I got a YouTube channel. So, just saying. Just throwing it out there. Do you have maple trees in Australia? I don't think so, no. Chi, are you there? Do we have maple trees? Or anyone else?
I think that's a northern hemisphere thing.
I mean, probably someone has tried planting them. They don't really grow in the wild over here. That's normal for Canada, Kiki. Oh, the hedonist pancake? It was kind of good. It was just like hefty. Kai's never heard of it. Melissa, it's European. Maybe it's like British or some shit. Done food tasting before. Interesting. Totally, Ezrin. How do you get this job and where do I sign up? It was, I think, my girlfriend at the time had some, I think her mother had done some shit, basically for this company that had various, what would you call it? Not tasting things, like various not quality control either, just like user reception. Focus groups, thank you, that's what I was looking for. Various focus groups, and I just got invited to this one that they thought I would like, and I did. I think I learned to make crepes in Australia. It was my Susie homemaker stage, and lemon and sugar was the thing. Yeah. Okay, this is one for chat. I think this came up in Marigram's chat the other day. Lime or lemon, which is the real one? Lime or lemon, which is the true one?
I'm a lemon man. Lime, it's got a weird taste to me. To me, it's a weird taste, but I love lemon. Absolutely. I'll get that slice of lemon with your glass of water.
Oh,
and I just eat the lemon. I just chew it.
That's like my favorite beverage of all time is the soda water, ice, slice of lemon. Go. Marvelous. Porto is pretty vanilla. Yeah, cheers, Spudsy. Cheers. Thanks. Can't harass 2 of you in real time over YouTube, but you can yell at the screen. You can like type !BS just randomly. Castoreum. What is castoreum? We didn't get into the what was actually they were made from, Kai. All right, we're gonna go for another 10 minutes, guys. You got anything you want to ask Trouty? Because we're both gonna die. This is the last stream ever, so anything you want to ask Trouty or me?
And I'm not a serial killer, okay? Stop calling me a serial killer.
That makes sense.
By the way,
Sorry.
real quick, I did want to let you guys know that you can find me on Twitch. My name is Trout. You can also find me on Twitter at @TheOneTrueTrout. So check me out on there, but don't be surprised if you find my tweets very offensive and not funny. So just wanted to drop that bit of knowledge for you.
PSX Boy says Lime is superior. Yeah, go see this boy on Twitter with the tweets, but mostly on Twitch. Or on everything.
Favorite King of the Hill character? Rusty Shackleford. Hands down. No question.
Which one's Rusty?
That's Dale's alter ego. Whenever he needs to lie about who he is, he says his name is Rusty Shackleford.
This is an embarrassing thing to admit. I haven't watched much King of the Hill. I know it's Beavis and Butthead's creator's name, who I've forgotten. Mike Judge. I know it's a Mike Judge show, but I've watched a bunch of Beavis and Butthead, watched a bunch of Daria. Never really saw King of the Hill, which is a little embarrassing.
It's fantastic. I really enjoy it. I think it's one of his best works, actually. So.
Well, he was a character from Beavis and Butthead, right? Same as Daria.
Yeah,
like they were just peripheral characters that got their own kind of,
like the neighbor or whatever, the old weird neighbor. Yeah, he kind of evolved from that for sure.
Where's my book club invite, Trouty boy? You're invited, Ezrin. You're invited.
Yeah, I just dropped the Discord link there in chat. If anybody wants to join the Discord, Porto and I and a bunch of other people are in there. So,
yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it started. We're gonna start putting shit up on there as well. It's a fledgling Discord at this point. What crops should I be planting in Stardew Valley? It's summer now, asks Ezrin.
Summer. Okay. So beans are really good because beans, if you plant them on day one, the plant doesn't die. You harvest the beans and they keep growing. Other than that, I'd say like cauliflower, potato, probably your best bet. You're gonna make a decent little chunk of money. This is early game. Now late game, you want to get your like ancient fruit. You want to have a greenhouse going. Fruit trees are really great, but yeah, starting out, beans are great. Cauliflower, potatoes, that kind of thing.
Thank you, sir. I got no fucking idea. Though I should play Stardew Valley. I'd like to try it out. Thank you, Kiki Tofu. Thank you. Oh, Monster Hunter Rise is being delivered today. Is anyone hyped for that game? I've heard that the combat in the Monster Hunter games is similar to Souls games, and that alone is enough to get me a little bit aroused.
Yeah. I was watching somebody was playing the demo today, Chief Littlepaw, and I was watching him play the demo. It looks really cool. I was a big fan. I didn't get into it until World came out, but Monster Hunter World is really fun, and I think this is more of like the classic Monster Hunter style, but still looks great. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, Goji has been telling me about this since it's been sort of announced, and I've been like really meaning to get a hold of. I was meaning to get a hold of the demo and just haven't played it yet. But it's definitely on my list, very much on my list. Let me just hopefully I haven't missed anything here in chat. Oh, Spudsy asked, where do babies come from?
Well,
no one ever told me. I don't know yet. I haven't found out.
All right. When a man loves a woman very much, they kiss, and that's where babies come from, I think.
True right there. From making out, and that's why I've never actually found that out, because I've yet to kiss anyone.
Never been kissed.
Never been kissed.
Kissless virgin.
So Sims 1 was right, yo. Is that how that happened? Where do mummies come from? Right, fuck you guys. They come from slow dancing. Yeah, yes, they come from slow moonlight dancing. Does that mean you can get pregnant if you get spit in your mouth? Can you imagine that? All it would take is just a stranger to spit in your mouth. That's kind of that's a rough time. God damn it, Blacks. This is what I'm talking about. Yes. This is just what I fucking do.
Actually,
yes, I
I've got a
have.
great story about
Yes.
a really nice South African
Thank
I
you.
met. So I used to play Elder Scrolls Online, and one night I was drunk in like the public area in the chat, and I was like, "Does anybody want to go fishing with me?" So this random girl, this South African girl, was like, "Yeah, I'll go fishing with you." I can't do the accent. But we started fishing and we became like really great friends. We sent for several years, we sent each other Christmas gifts. We would talk all the time. So yeah, really nice South African girl. Name was Candace. Yeah, I have good memories with her. So that's kind of that MMO, like you meet somebody and then I've never met her in real life, but we've sent each other gifts. I have a really awesome Edgar Allan Poe book that she sent me, and she even on the front page like wrote me a little message, and I'll have that forever.
That's lovely. Yeah, no, I there's a dude who was a friend of a friend who became a friend called Roy, South African guy, who I knew in Perth, and I think she knows Roy also, and he's just like the most chill guy ever. Just like sometimes there's those people you're just like whatever they're doing right now, they're just being a really chill, likable person at doing it. And he's that guy. Yeah, Roy equals good human. That's right, yeah, Roy's the man. Can you catch a trout? Asks Kiki Tofu. This is the important one.
I've never caught a trout in real life, but in video games, I've caught countless trouts. So I hope that answers your question.
I've never caught a trout in real life, but I've caught less impressive fish. I've caught like I think I've caught snapper and Taylor. We used to go like fishing off the rocks. I've caught many a blowy, which is a terrible time actually. Are you an Edgar Allan?
Blowies myself.
Bullshit. Are you an Edgar Allan Poe fan?
I'm a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan.
Wait, you're not asking me, Farrell. You don't think I... Anyway, sorry, continue.
So, yeah, so... Okay, this is the thing I will say about Edgar Allan Poe is that he he created genres, right? So the one I always lean on is like everybody says Arthur Conan Doyle sort of created the detective noir, the deductive detective archetype. But really, like 40 years before he wrote even the first thing about Sherlock Holmes, Edgar Allan Poe wrote this story called The Murders in the Rue Morgue, and it's all about this nameless detective that can like think his way through crimes, and he could just look at all the evidence and immediately know like who did it. So I am a fan of Edgar Allan Poe. I have a lot of his like short stories and that kind of thing.
His short fiction's great. Some of the ones I remember are like aside from the ones depicted in Treehouse of Horror and whatnot, The Mask of Red Death. Do you remember that one?
Yes, yeah. I was just talking about that with Dreadsley the other day, Mask of the Red Death. I really enjoyed that. I haven't read it in years, but the various colored rooms and sort of what those represent, and like, yeah, really cool story.
For some reason, when I think of that, I immediately associate it with Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. That the masquerade party from that, even though they're not really the same thing at all, just like stylistically, I can't. It's probably just the mask thing.
I just watched that for the first time.
Oh, really?
Last 2 weekends ago? Yeah, because Cabster was saying that you got to watch it, and so me and Cabster, and I think Cece was there, and a couple other people, we all watched it in Discord, and that's a doozy, man.
I love that movie. It was kind of, I think it was somewhat divisive at the time, I think, or like the opinions were divided on it, because a lot of people just said it's like 3 hours of Tom Cruise just moping around New York City. But that's great. That's what I want to see. I love the pacing of it. I love it as kind of like almost like a dark comedy in a way, even though it's very bleak and it has that dun 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 dun, that fucking like tense piano shit. Like there's something really sexy about that movie too.
Well, and I think it also touches on, the big theme is temptation and like good versus evil, but it also touches on these various levels of being elite. So at the beginning of the movie, you're like, oh, this is this elite guy that's like top doctor to all these rich people, super rich himself. but then he realizes there's another deeper level that he couldn't even touch, you know? And so there's all these levels of like what you and I may consider elite really isn't anything. It's just like some rich guy. But then beyond that, there's like secret societies. And I think that like Kubrick was pointing out that there are like right in front of your face, there are all these like secret societies and different, you know, like secret parties that you're not invited to.
I never get invited to the secret parties.
Me neither.
God damn it, guys. Why aren't you inviting me? We're going to have to wrap this up, Trouty. I said this was going to be kind of a short one. We've already gone... I always do this with content, and of course I should have known I would have done it again here. Chat, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining and making this even better. Trouty, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. I really did.
Me too, dude. Me too, dude. I look forward to having many more conversations with you in future. Let me just say to everyone, PSX Boy, Thorosi, Beezy, Agus, Kai, Blacks, Turbo, Dog, Carrion. Oh, your English teacher made you read The Pearl. Yo, The Pearl's a good book, though. Steinbeck's one of my best. The English teacher probably just knew that you were on the level. Memorize the Raven, CC. Nice, nice. Yeah, CC, Carrion, Feral. Everybody. Yes, I am a fan of Edgar Allan Poe. We got to raid someone, guys. We're back. I'm back tomorrow with Dark Souls. We're going to... Thick Body Bob Boy is going to do this shit. 81 deaths. 4 bosses to go. It's on. It's on. The thrilling conclusion, followed by GeoGuessr, Chat Guesser. Come join us. I'll probably get a bottle of wine or something weird. Trouty, when can we next see you, sir?
You will see me this weekend, not tomorrow. I have a Dungeons and Dragons appointment with a couple of the people in chat, actually. We've been playing the game. But Saturday, so Saturday my time, I can't do this whole... Different people, different time zones. So let's say 48 hours from now, you will see me, and I will be playing something. I don't know. I'll play a game, maybe do some reading. So
marvelous, sir. Marvelous. See you in 48 hours. We got to raid someone, chat. Let's just keep this open until I figure out who to raid. Just a last plug there. Yeah. Get weird with some wine. You know it.
PSX Boy put a link there to the Discord for the Film and Literature Society.
Oh shit, that's
definitely
what you meant.
Jump in there if you're interested. There will be more news and more of a schedule kind of as it comes. So yeah, hope
Thank
to
you,
see
PSX
everybody
Boy.
in there as well.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we're gonna updates to come. April 1st / April 2nd if you're in the future. I'm just looking here and I'm seeing, we were talking about Onibaku-man earlier. He's playing Dark Souls again. Is that too much of a jarring raid from content to Dark Souls? What do you reckon, chat? Is that weird? I mean,
I'd say it's one horrifying thing to another. So
one grueling, endless experience to another.
Naked pancakes to Dark Souls.
Yeah, well, you know, Onibaku-man's got some good medium vibes. He's actually a lovely dude. So I'd like to thank you all again for all the support, all the hangs. If you're enjoying content, if you enjoyed this, it's on the YouTube. Let's continue plugging. Fuck it. Let's get shameless. It's on the YouTube. I've spoken with this guy before. How long ago did we speak last time? Was that like 6 months ago?
Yeah, it was, well, because we did the New Year's Christmas episode, but then even before that, I want to say it was maybe in September that we did a conversation. It was really fun then too. So go check that one out first. See how we've grown and changed as people.
Look how much we've aged physically. Physically.
Yes.
I was 100% better looking back then, or more youthful looking. There was a look of hope.
I had more hair.
There was hope in our eyes as well. You know, we weren't defeated yet by the world. Let's raid Onibaku-man. What's going to be our raid message for this lad? I always ask that, and we rarely come up with something, but that's fine. The glow has left. Yeah. So Onibaku-man's doing a no leveling up deprived run. So there's that as well. I think last time I saw him, he was in Sen's Fortress. We'll see if he's gotten through there. Have I had a better haircut? Hey. Hey, fuck you. Hey, thank you, Spuds. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. To the stash. I'll see you all really soon. Trouty, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Same here.
Been a pleasure,
Thank you
dude.
So much.
And I look forward to this Film and Literature Society, my dude. And to everyone else, we love you. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.